Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf for another Oh My Harley. Oops, no, not Harley. It's Oh My Motorbike, a very special show. And I'm joined here by a lovely couple from London who are really into their motorbiking type stuff and really into motorcycle tours. So I'm here. I'm joined by Gesto and Lane. Hello, hello. How are you?
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Right, so tell us a little bit about yourself. You've got a YouTube channel, you do a little bit of social media, you love your bikes, you ride around. What's going on?
Oh,
What
isn't going on?
What do you want to know first, really? It's a bit
Well,
of a
tell us a bit about your YouTube channel. How did it start?
Well, I guess we're better off starting with how we met, really, because how long have we been together now? 6 years?
6 years, yeah.
6 years. We met through a passion for photography, which is actually what we do now, photography and videography. But we met.
That's your jobs, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Freelance. We actually met at a dirt bike
Off-roading. So basically, we were learning to photograph motorbikes at speed. So, you know, getting them, speed blur and things like that.
Brilliant. Okay.
Basically, I ended up taking a picture of her bum.
As you do.
I turned the camera around and it was just there, you know.
Big hairy bum.
Yeah, that old chestnut. I know. I got you.
I also actually. It wasn't on purpose. I lost my phone. So she rung it so that we could find it. It was in a field. Honestly, you couldn't write this. It wasn't on purpose. Well, you could write it, but it wasn't. So she helped me out. We became friends. And then within a month, we were decided that, you know, there was something there. Within 3 months, we'd sold all of our sort of belongings that we had that we didn't really need. And we spent 8 months living in a Honda Civic, traveling around Europe.
Oh, brilliant.
We slept in the car, we ate in the car, we had like a stove and just went round
on the go, didn't we?
all these kind of places. Germany, Austria, Switzerland.
12 countries we did.
We got the boat across to Tenerife, and we lived in Tenerife for 3 months.
Right.
I found out I was really bad on boats. Like,
oh yeah, it was like The Exorcist.
So where did the motorbiking come in then?
Well, I've been motorcycling since I was 17, so it's like 33 years now. And I got the bug from my mum, who used to hitchhike around Europe basically with a motorcycling, or to see motorcycling in general. And then as she got older, she started hanging out with a race team that used to go do the Isle of Man and Jardine and all that sort of thing. And so the first time I ever rode a bike, I was 17, and it was my mum's bike, which I crashed into the neighbour's wall, completely broke the wall, and endoed the bike, and ended up back in the wall in the garden. And obviously, I had a bike when I met him. Yeah. And that was it. He said, right, that's it. I've been stopped from having a bike by my extremely strict Spanish parents, and now I'm too old for them to stop me, and you've got one, so I'm going to get one.
That's right. So you got a bike after meeting each other then?
Yeah, I'd always had a passion. I grew up with my dad watching MotoGP and things like that. Yeah. But he was always like, oh, you can't have one because it's too dangerous. And I used to go to Spanish villages on holiday, like Spanish family. And I'd get a sneak little ride on my friends' dirt bikes here and there where I'm not supposed to. And then finally, when I met Emma, I was like, I'm just going to get a license because I've always wanted one. And I think that the first memories I have was always looking at people with Ninjas. So Kawasaki was like my thing. I got a Kawasaki 636 as my first bike. Went straight on, did the course all the way through.
Direct entry.
Just went straight onto that, and ever since.
Always remember the first time I took him on the back of my bike for a proper ride before he got his bike. I always remember him like bashing me on the side and going, "I've never had a girlfriend as cool as you."
Well, you know, you're obviously a cool couple because you're both riding bikes and you're both enjoying each other. Right. So, what bikes are you riding now?
I've got an MT-09. Which I absolutely love. It's a proper beast, it is. So it's got a straight through Black Widow exhaust on it. So the triple sounds really, really nice.
Lovely.
I went from actually a Z1000. I was in the UK Z heads, and I went to I went to the NT09 just because I started looking up bits and pieces of information and found out that actually, because it's so much lighter, not only is it more fun, but it's actually a lot quicker to pick up on speed. Like the top end obviously doesn't have, but and for UK roads where I want to have my fun is in that like more sensible range where, you know, it's not so super dangerous.
Sensible riding, all right.
That Z1000 is pretty awesome as well, isn't it? I mean, it's a great bike. It was a multi-purpose bike. Sorry?
Yeah, I must admit, if I could have both, I'd have both.
Yeah. So did all the Kawasaki owners go?
Well, I mean,
get away from us.
Hat, and I'm a big fan. But do you know what? The last time we went away traveling, actually, I found that the Z1000, the way I had it set up, the back of it was no good for the bike we have, the stuff that we have, because the camera gear, we've got a Sony, we've got a gimbal, we've got a drone, and you just couldn't fit the 70-litre bag on the back. And Emma had on her CBR 600 double R a huge 70-litre bag with a gimbal box and everything. It was just crazy.
I know, yeah. Mine's a Repsol, so I got the CBR 600RR Repsol.
Right.
And, funny enough, I had the CBR before, didn't I? I had the limited edition 2009 when I first met you, and then we sold it, and I bought another one because I just really like them. I think they're stable
they're great
on the road and go around corners like they're on rails, you know.
No, fantastic. Do you do many sort of track days or anything like that, or have you done track days? No. They're all good fun. They're good fun, actually, definitely. Now,
she has just bought me one for my.
Oh, have you? Right. Oh,
yeah, I've got one this year.
You'll absolutely love it. Now, were you involved a little bit with marshalling at some point? Did I read that somewhere?
When I was 18, I was so bike obsessed that I wanted to go and see the TT. So we went to go to see the TT races in the Isle of Man, and obviously Mum's been there on and off over the years and knows it like the back of her hand.
Sure.
And at the time, I don't know if it's the same now, whether you can still do that, but I was only 18, and you had to register on to actually do the marshalling. I think you had to go over there and do it at the time. And so we registered and we both did it, me and Mum.
Oh, right,
marshaled the racing, the actual TT races, which was really good. It was great fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a bit scary because I had at one point a bike coming towards me in the wrong direction, and he crashed and that. But yeah, really good fun and interesting thing to do.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, it's one of my favourite races of the year. I mean, I love two races, basically, the Dakar off-road racing and also the TT. Absolutely love it. Fantastic. Right.
You have to be a bit mad to do the TT. You really do, because it's just so dangerous. And,
absolutely. I mean, it's just
the most exhilarating thing you could ever go and see.
Yeah, crazy speeds on just public roads, basically. I mean, it's, just, it's nuts. Absolutely nuts. Yeah, but it's brilliant. Right, okay, Let's move away from the love affair, both from you and with bikes. Let's talk about your YouTube channel. Why did you start it? What's all this about then?
Well, you know, I think originally it was, I said to Carlos one day, look, I really want to, when I'm too old to be able to do this anymore, I really want to be able to look back at all the things we've done, because since we've been together, we've ridden thousands and thousands of miles around multiple countries in Europe.
Yeah, the first year we met, on my first time getting the license, my first year, we actually went all the way from England to Netherlands, and then down through Germany, a bit of France, went all the way across the top of the north of Spain to Galicia, which is where my parents are from.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Stayed there for 2 weeks and then rode all the way back.
Nice.
So apart from the gap of staying at my mum and dad's in Spain, that was my first year. We did over 6,000 abroad kilometers just riding around.
Yeah, fantastic.
We saw so much amazing stuff, and I'm 50 years old now, and I kept thinking, I'm never going to remember all of this, and how we're going to do that. And obviously with social media these days, it's a great way to have an online diary that you can look back at,
Right. Sure.
So of course we started it like that, and then people started saying, "Oh, we love the banter you two have got, and you should do this, you should do, And okay, we're not everyone's cup of tea, but we thought, well, why not just give it a go and just put our stuff out there in a more organised fashion,
Well, I think, I think that really comes across in your sort of videos that I've seen. It's just a really nice, fun channel, and it's you're just sharing what you love, which is really good. Now, we talked about this a little bit off air, but there's actually a little horrible thing that's happened to you as well. You were setting up a studio in the UK, is that right?
Yeah.
And you were sort of going to pay for it and everything, and then you lost all the money, or you got ripped off for all the money.
Yeah.
We got ripped off. They actually stole it. I mean, I know everyone says, "Oh, you should pay at the end of a project," but I think that it was a deliberate con, because basically at the back of the garden we've got a summer house, and it's 8 meters by 5. It's really big. Yeah. We was going to set that out as a studio for our in-house like photography and videography, things like that we do.
People to come and visit us to go on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So I think the guys invested like 5,000 on getting some wood, materials in, and this, that, and the other, and we was paying week on week. And by the time they was 4 weeks in, I think, they'd left the garden upturned, they'd dug a trench, and there was loads of wood and rubbish, like like a 1.5 meters tall by about 5 meters long, full of just rubbish. They asked us for an instalment, and we paid. This instalment made the total we paid up to 27,000, which was near enough for the work to be almost completed. And they then disappeared. The guy that was working there said he had a problem with his ribs, that he'd fallen over. Someone took him to the hospital, and then they never came back. The website disappeared. Their Instagram page disappeared. There's no trace of them. They were on this. They were on the government website as well, just set up as a limited company. So
yeah, we're gutted really, because it's basically put us back 10 years in all the things that we would have been doing, and we could have got to 1290s for that.
I feel for you. I feel for you. That is such a terrible thing. I'll tell you what, let's see if we can get you back up there, shall we? You need subscribers, you need views. Let's just get this up there. Now, one of the things that you want to do with your channel, you also told me offline as well, because I really like the concept of the both of you together, the story, the backgrounds, and all the videos you produce, but also the photography, videography as well. I think that's a great little thing. But one of the things that you kind of mentioned to me actually was going out on the road, doing your tours, touring around, but actually reporting live from the different places. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I think first and foremost was because my partner is a big supporter of I don't know if you've heard of that. It's the World Women's Riders World Relay. And basically it's
that's a Maria Costello thing, isn't it?
Is it what, sorry?
Is that something to do with Maria Costello?
No, it's Hayley Bell. She had this idea of bringing girls together worldwide to try and get the industry to recognise the fact that that women's, even now, 33 years later, after 33 years of riding, I can't go into a shop and buy a set of clothing that looks like it's meant for girls, but is as protective as what you would normally ride in. I mean, I've got a set of Alpine Stars, one piece, that I had to buy a men's 52 because I'm almost 6 foot and I've got a 34-inch leg. And shut up, Lou. And but so she started this movement, or whatever you want to call it, and it kind of ended up about 80 countries got involved with so far in the group there's like 20,000 women in this Facebook group.
Yeah, fantastic.
And, we actually featured the starting event at the Ace Cafe in London. So that video is on our channel. So if you do a search, check it out. It is
there. And so everybody here, I'll just quickly put your channel up again here. This is it. It's a Gesto and Lane, a motorcyclist diary. It's on YouTube. So you've got just over 500, nearly 600 subscribers right now. 50 odd videos. It's looking good. I really like it. It's
been really good, because the last month and a half we've almost doubled our subscribers. Okay, it's only a small channel, but it's quite it's nice to look at. It's nice to know that people are beginning to subscribe and they like what we're doing. But that's the main reason for doing the whole like YouTube now, is because we really want to get people to see what we see when we're on the road, instead of pre-planned and let's make this look lovely with lots of B-roll rubbish. And I mean, okay, it's not rubbish, but you see what I mean. You want to be able to see the beautiful embolses that we drive past in Spain, you know, in their full glory. And
that's Spanish for large lake.
Yeah.
In case you're wondering what embolse is, that's what's kind of weird pocket.
Yeah, look, I'm with you. You're preaching to the converted here when you're talking about this overproduction of videos and B-roll and all that sort of stuff. You kind of gets away from the actual experience, what people are having. And, you know, if you want to share that, and if you can share that real time, as in live broadcasts or live streaming. Now, one of the reasons that people may not know this, but with YouTube, they moved the goalpost a couple of years ago, whatever. And they said, so you can't live stream from your mobile devices until you got over 1,000 subscribers. So guess what? Everybody get to Gesto and Lane's YouTube channel and subscribe. There we go. Yeah, do it now. Go and subscribe now. You can subscribe to me as well if you like, but go subscribe to these guys. Anyway, so I think that'd be really good. Live streaming from your travels, where you go in different places. You're on the side of the road somewhere. You just come across something. Bosh, there we go. Have a look at that.
Exactly. And you know what? Some things that we missed, you know, when we were, I mean, it sounds terrible now. I laugh about it now, but when we rode the last time, before last, we actually did quite a nice long journey, and then on the way back, we had to come home.
And why did we have to come home?
We had to come home because I had a speed awareness course to attend. Yes, I was on my bicycle riding a little bit too fast anyway.
Right.
But, so we was in a little bit of a rush getting home because I had to get back for this speed awareness course. And of course, we ended up doing a 15-hour stint on the bikes and got into France. And it's about 5 o'clock in the morning by this point, isn't it?
Freezing cold.
Absolutely freezing cold. I had every piece of clothing on that I could get on. And then obviously, you know, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. It's pitch black. We're outside this French chateau with lots of gorgeous stuff that we can't see because it's so dark, and I need a wee.
Yeah.
So in my one-piece leather suit in the pitch black, I'm trying to be as elegant as I can. Well, I ended up peeing all over my leather suit, and then I ended up bawling and snotting like a big girl. And
she was crying big time.
You know, I think when you look back at this stuff and you see that it was just one of them experiences that I look back and I think, if only people could see that the reality of traveling long term and being on the road, and this sort of, you know, the ups and downs of doing it, not the sort of pretty stuff that everybody portrays it to be. I think people find that interesting. I know I do. I want to see
do as well. Stuff. Yeah, I do. Exactly right. I want to see the real story. I don't really want to see. Absolutely right. I don't want to see, you know, all roses all the time. You know, you're right, and I've been in those situations myself. I'm, you know, dressed up into head to toe in my biker gear, and I'm actually dying to go to the toilet. And then, you know, you're trying to get it all off, all these layers off, and it's just not going to happen. They're all something that a narrow escape, let's say, I've had a few times, and it's not pretty. It is not
luckily she did pee on the outside of the suit.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
She was like, I give up, I can't take it anymore.
Well, listen, I wish you all the best for the channel. I certainly do. And you know, hopefully you can recover and get the studio up and running, you know, and I think that'd be fantastic as well.
Yeah.
And, but anyway, listen, we're going to have a few questions here. I call it the Dirty Dozen Questions. Are you ready?
Well, always ready.
Definitely dirty.
These are very serious questions.
Okay,
They're not really. But here we go. Here's your first question. So, what motorcycle are you riding now, and what has been your favorite bike over the years? Okay, you've already told me about your bikes. Got the CBR 600 and you've got the MC09, I think wasn't it? But what's been your favorite bike over the years, would you say?
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I think it has to be my CBR, and I think because it's the second one I've had now, and I bought this second one, the Repsol, because my first one, which I sold to another girl biker, funnily enough, and I'd never got over the fact that it was so planted and stable on the road that it made me feel like I could just do anything with it. And it you know, it goes round corners in a fashion. Well, you can, you know, if you've ever ridden a CBR, anyone who's ridden a CBR knows that you just lean into a corner and it does all the work for you. You know, they don't win races for no good reason. So so yeah, that's my favourite bike, I think, and I've ridden an awful lot of bikes.
How about you?
Does it have to be a bike that I've owned?
No, not at all. Not at all.
I had to say that I think my first experiences growing up and things like that, like I said, the Ninja was something that I'd always thought, oh wow, as a kid. Then when I got a little bit older and started to know everything, it was the R1 was just my god, Yamaha's R1.
Awesome.
But I think that my options have changed now, and that we've done a test ride recently.
Oh yeah, the KTM.
And my favourite bike is the Super Duke 1290 because
they are amazing.
I test rode it and I just fell in love straight away.
He's absolutely in love with it. All he talks about all day is a bloody 1290.
I love that. I need one.
I need one.
It's not I want one. I need one.
That's
right.
That's what I said to the guys at KTM.
I need that machine in my life. Yes.
Who doesn't need a bike? I mean, come on. Yeah. We need a
bike. Brilliant. Okay, let me get on to the next question then. Here we go. Do you think your bikes are suited to the kind of riding that you do? Are you shaking your head? Because I already know that answer. But what would be your dream bike for the kind of riding that you do? Or let's say for your channel as well.
Oh, yeah, that's a question and a half. My bike is definitely not suited to what I do, but I love it so much. I put up with it. I'm absolutely in love with my Reggie Repsol.
Yeah.
But yeah, suited definitely not. Being lent forward like that on a sports bike with a 70-litre bag on the back and all that weight for thousands of kilometers at a time. The first trip we came back from, I got off and for 3 weeks I was broken. I couldn't my shoulders. Horrendous.
I think the next time we went away, you did okay though. We came back and it wasn't really broken. I think the body gets used to it. I think all these, I'd see loads of comments from people.
So tough.
See loads of comments from people that say, "Oh, my wrists are killing me," and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think, well, grip with your knees and
absolutely.
But I think
build up the core a little bit, and
exactly.
It takes a lot of pressure off. Yeah,
I must admit, with the MT-09, having come away from the Ninja, when we went away on our second travels away, I was finding myself really relaxed, and it was really nice on the MT-09 upright, and felt really easy to ride.
Yeah.
And I got a little bit tired one day when we was going from Granada, which is the south of Spain, and we went to Almeria, and that we did it all in one day. It was actually to Alicante because we had a friend's birthday. We did the whole journey in one day, but she started to get tired, so we swapped for a little bit. And I was like, oh my god, I can't believe how unused to the sports bike I was, and how quickly my lower back started to go, oh, you better do some exercise.
Yeah.
Really bad.
It was very different getting on your MT-09. I was off around the mountains like, way, I'm sitting up for a change.
Would you ever sort of consider, I don't know, something maybe like an adventure bike or a smaller scale adventure bike?
I would actually go, I think that talking about this dream bike for what we do and what we do on our channel, I think I'd go with the BMW X1000R.
They look good
because they look incredible, and apparently the performance is like the S1000. So I'm very much a case of I love my power and my naughty bikes rather than having an adventure bike or something a bit slower that's for the journey. I'd rather suffer the journey and have something that's crazy good for when I get there.
Yeah, okay, that sounds good. That sounds great. I mean, so do you sort of travel light? Is it bare bones traveling, or you kind of load it all up with a kitchen sink and everything you go?
There's a video on our channel if anybody wants to have a look at it, and it's got how much luggage can you get on a sports bike or how much luggage it's called, something like that, and that's how we travel. And if you look, it looks like we've got a human on the back. It's just so much stuff because we take all our filming equipment and double duvet cover, and
last time we went away it was 20. I think it was about almost 20k each.
Really? On the back?
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
So it is, quite a lot. Although this time round we're trying to
change things up and go as light as possible. Just the drone and the GoPros. We're not going to bother with the gimbal and the Sony and stuff. We're just going to go really light and just try and keep it as light as possible, because it was a nightmare. I mean, Emma dropped her bike last time we were away. So not like a big crazy accident. It just toppled over.
Sure. It happens.
That's on the channel as well, not the actual falling, but so we thought, it's just too much.
It's too much. And when you're on the road for thousands of kilometers, and then you've got to try and get this 20-kilo bag off, I mean, all right, I'm strong for a girl, but after a few days of being on the road, it's going back on and off and on and on. Just you're worn out. You're absolutely knackered,
Yeah, I mean, I do sort of occasional sort of long distance riding or endurance riding, and I mean that's my mantra really: light, and then light again. Just keep on shedding the pounds. Well, I could shed a few pounds myself, but in terms of equipment, just bare bones. Only what I really need, and then it's like packing for holiday. You pack first, and then you unpack it again to just get rid of all the 10 bikinis that you don't really need. In my case, of course, all that kind of stuff. Just
I've got these visions now.
I can see him in a bikini.
Nice. Yeah. I reckon a nice green would suit you.
Like man.
I have my moments. No, I don't. No. Honestly, I don't. Right. Okay. Next question. Then you're going great, by the way. Fantastic answers. Really good. Now we've already sort of talked a bit about this, how long you've been riding, you met on the dirt bike scene and all that kind of stuff, and you fell in love in cameras in hand and pictures of bums and all that kind of stuff. See, I was listening, see? Right. But this is a question I ask people. Now, because you've done a lot of touring, this might be a bit difficult for you to answer, but I want to know, what has been your best time riding, either as individuals or together? If you could just say, it was this day, this ride on this road, whatever. That was my best.
I think one of my favourite days was the Bear Grylls day. Do you remember when we met Bear Grylls? And on that day we had some just epic scenery.
Not the Bear Grylls. It was another biker, and he was on an adventure bike, and he looked like Bear Grylls because he had the see-through pouch on his arm with the directions,
the navigation, and
just the open up map, and he really cool guy, really cool. Yeah,
and we did some amazing roads that day. And there's sometimes, for me, long distance riding is about the freedom that comes with it. And that if you're on the road for any length of time, some people will probably understand this, that you get this kind of quietness that comes over you. And you've just got the scenery and the noise of the bike and things go. There's nothing going on around, especially in the areas that we ride. We always go back roads. We never do motorway work unless it's absolute necessity. And this day, a few of the days in Spain we had like that, where I just had this moment of calmness that makes you feel it's something you can't experience, and I've never experienced anywhere else.
Fantastic. Oh, fabulous. I know exactly what you mean. You do enter a kind of a zone like trance, really. You're actually so right. You're in the moment. It's just you, machine, the road, the environment, whatever it is. I think that's why I love biking so much over the years. It is just being that real connection with my surroundings, with the environment, especially if I'm out in the countryside.
The freedom. I mean, like when you're stuck in a car, you can't see the sky up around you. You don't really get a real vista. Whereas when you're just on the bike, you can look anywhere you want. And I mean, you just, it just feels like it's right there in front of you. It's hard to explain, really. But I mean, other bikers will know that do long distance and stuff.
I think there's been some lovely days as well that you'll never forget, because when we go on our journeys, obviously we take tent and we camp, and I hate camping most of the time, but there are some days when you wake up, and we've woken up in surroundings that you just would never get the opportunity to see. Beautiful. You're staying in a hotel, or we've woke up next to turquoise blue lagoons where we've parked up in the dark, and then when we've woke up we're like, oh, whoa, look at that, that's like off of a postcard or
That's it. I mean, that's what you get for getting out on the road. You know, just get out on the road, ride your bikes, and just, you know, do a bit of touring or whatever. And it's amazing. I mean, I do, well, not so much now, right now, because I'm more sort of road riding. But for the last few years, I sort of got back to my roots of a lot of off-road riding here in the UK and in around Europe as well. And I always say to people, it's amazing. You get off the main roads, you get onto the back roads, you get into, you know, even trails just on the other side of a hedge, and it's a different world. It's a totally different world.
I would love to try green laning and things like that.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yes,
right. In the UK, there isn't a lot of green lanes, extensive green lanes. You know, you'd love to be able to ride from the south all the way to the north. You know, but it's, you know. So you have to pick where you can go, really.
We like to push the boundaries a little bit. So we quite often wild camp as well. We don't do the campsites, which is even better. You wake up in the morning and it's like,
yeah, lovely. Yeah,
we have slept right next to a road where we had no option in France but just to tent up. And it was like, you know, as the road goes along and then you have a little bit of green area as the road comes around. And we put the tent on there, and I think it was like,
all night,
4 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, as the lorries are going. I'd wake up the next morning like this.
And off you go. Brilliant.
Large coffee.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Okay. Next question then. Have you made any modifications to your bikes? And if so, what were they? And are they worth the money?
Absolutely none for my CBR, apart from a specialised racking system, because taking the kind of gear that we take with this, I had to buy a decent racking system because I just couldn't get it all on. You know, we've got the 70-litre bags, as we mentioned before, and we've also got a specialised gimbal system for our Sony camera, which we use for slow-mo and you know, specialist bokeh and you know, I'm guessing you know more about that than a lot of people will, I'm sure, because you're in the, or you've done photography and stuff, I think you mentioned before. But we couldn't, there's no way we could have got it on the bike. But other than that, I've done no modifications to it at all. I'm just not that built that way, I don't think. I don't really enjoy the whole
mods, but you've changed the tyre.
Oh yeah, no, I can do it. I can do it. It's not a problem. It's just that because it's a Repsol and it's just so yummy as it is, I don't feel the need to change anything on it. You know, I really like my bike the way it is. Apart from, I do need to put a tail tidy on it. Yeah, I haven't done that yet. I'm going to.
It's interesting. I mean, I'm kind of a similar opinion. I'm riding a sort of Harley Davidson now. This is my first Harley for the last few months. And there's obviously a massive movement within Harley Davidson ownership to do lots of customization. I've built my own bikes in the past, and I've done customization in that respect. But it's not something that really interests me. Actually, what interests me is just getting on the bike and riding. And I've always said this.
Yeah.
The more modifications you do, the less you're going to be able to ride that bike long distance. And it's funny. Lots of people who do long distance riding kind of have the same opinion. You know, leave your bike alone, leave it alone, and just ride your bike. You know, and
it's built for the job. Yeah.
My MT-09, because I bought it second hand, but I only got it with 1,700 miles on it. But the guy had already put the exhaust on it and stuff.
It sounds the before then it sounds so good. The exhaust on it, the Black Widow exhaust, is just amazing.
But can you give me a sound impersonation of it?
No, I can't. I was just trying to think.
I almost got you to do it. I almost got you to do it.
No,
maybe not. Okay.
There is actually another video on our channel, which is I put the microphone underneath the seat. I'm thinking about doing a video about showing people how to get this sound so you don't get the wind noise. But there is one on there. A bit embarrassing because I kind of ended up on the wrong side of the road. But
wind noise, eh?
Yeah,
it's the curse.
Not from the bum, obviously, not from my arse. You know.
Well, there we go. Okay, look, next question. Here we go. Where have you done most of your riding? Now, has it been sort of UK, or most of it has actually been, you know, abroad, Europe?
Abroad in Europe. We've done last year on our trip. We did 14,000 kilometers on the last trip. And because we're mad, we tend to always ride through France to get through to Spain. So, I mean, you know, France is massive.
Well, I don't do well on the boat.
And he doesn't do well on the boat, so we have to ride through it.
We did try once to go from Portsmouth to Santander, and that didn't fare very well. Actually, I was really so bad, Emma managed to get us a free room. She almost punched the woman out on the boat and said, if you don't give me a room, I'm going to knock you out.
Oh,
I'm not like that. I'm a nice girl, honest. But most of it is in Europe, and like I say, we've done Germany, Germany, France, Spain, Switzerland. Did we go through Monaco in the bikes or in the car? No, that was in the car. So all over the place, and we've got lots planned for this year. So we're going to try and fit as many countries in as we can over the next year in 2020, and make this our year for touring as many countries and doing this whole filming things live as much as possible, or at least doing one a week that's live, and then one that we have to put together, because obviously there's only so much time in a day.
If we go live, we're going to have to put a sticker on the Speedo.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, because like it's broken and it just blurs after 50 miles an hour.
My Speedo's broken; it blurs after 50.
Let me ask you a question then. Are you doing this sort of going away on the bikes? Is it a continuous ride, or is it you go away for a couple of weeks, you come back, go away for a couple of weeks, come back?
Last time we went away was 4 months, and we stayed away all the time.
The aim of the game this year is, and then we're just in the planning stages, so hopefully within the next month we'll know exactly what we're doing and when we're leaving. But once we leave here, we'll be on the road until we get bored or run out of money or something. So
we set ourselves a target.
As you go around with your videography and photography, are you freelancing as you're going around, or is that more when you're here?
That's when we're here, So when we're in the country, we work and we do events, mainly events, really. We've just done an event in the Shard for a friend of ours, like we filmed her event for her, and then another one in a bar, and so we do all sorts of events and done weddings and stuff.
We film it, we edit. Well, we film it, I do the editing process, put the music together and everything like that, cut and colour, and then basically put the video out. But we work our asses off, and we save up a ton of money, and then we'll go and do the right. I don't want people to think that we're privileged and that we've got loads of money, because it's not. It's a case of you work. I mean, we came away from the rat race because I used to work for a plumbing firm as a manager. Emma was an estate agent selling houses and stuff for a big firm. And we was doing 13 hours a day sometimes, and we just thought, I don't even know why I'm doing this, because I have no interest in anybody's plumbing whatsoever. So it was like, right. So we say that was the first time we went away, when we sold everything and just used the money to go away, and we was the idea was, I think, to live in Spain if we could, because I speak fluent Spanish and my parents are from there, but we want to be in the south of Spain where we can ride all year round and do videos all year round, but we'd use that as our base to come away from. But I think now the way things are, we do the video work, we save up a load of money, and then we go,
just travel,
we just don't book any work or anything, and then go away for like 4 months ride, and then come back and just
absolutely love being on the road. And it's just it's my happy place, being on the road on the bike. It really did change us. That first 8 months that we went away, it totally changed the kind of people we were.
There's a moment in realization whilst you're traveling around, whether it be by bike or whatever. I mean, we would have loved to have done it by bike, but I didn't have one at the time. And I think there's a moment where you realize, I can go anywhere I want. I can do anything I want. I can see different places around the world or Europe, and you're just like, this moment of freedom that goes, wow, and it makes you realise you don't need all these fancy things and this, that, and the other, and you can get by just being so happy from seeing what the world has to offer. It just
minimalize. I think if there's one piece of advice I can offer to people actually that are into motorcycling or in general, is minimize your life to what you actually need, not what you want, and get out there and explore and do things that that you wouldn't normally do.
And don't do motorways. Don't do motorways.
No, don't do motorways.
Don't do motorways.
Unless you're in a hurry.
For a speed awareness course or two.
Speed awareness course.
Never be in a hurry. Take your time. Take your time. Right, listen, look, this leads on to the next question, actually. Because you do the YouTube channel, or, you know, you do your freelancing work when you're back here. But what have you found has been the most difficult thing about being a YouTuber or content creator, as they like to call themselves these days, and about producing motorcycle content? Do you find it a chore at all, or is it? Sorry?
Time, I think. Time management.
Yeah.
Having the time to get out and do the stories, then time to edit. And because, I mean, I'm self-taught. I actually learn all my editing stuff from YouTube videos, actually.
Most people do.
Thank you very much to all the other creators out there that have helped us. But that is how we learn. And I'm still learning, and we're always wanting to do better, because as artistic people, you always want to do something better or some new skills, and, you know, to help tell the story better. So I think that time management is probably the hardest thing for me, because it takes so long still to edit.
You know, I think the other thing as well, I mean, we've only got 500 and whatever it is subscribers, but I've already had people sending horrible messages. You know, we've had one person who sent a really nasty message saying, you're just subscriber grabbing because you want all this money you earn from YouTube. And I'm like,
we don't know.
What money? What subscribers? We don't have that many.
People have some warped views. People have some warped views of what this is. If they only really knew what is actually involved, you know, I think, you know, every channel gets them, and every channel will get it. You know, probably when I post this, you might even get people doing it the same here. In the end, I've bitten a couple of times, I must say. But now I just ignore it.
I rage inside.
Yeah, I'm just going to ignore it.
And I let Emma deal with all the social media.
I think
what people don't realise is that you can have a project or a video or whatever that you've worked on and not only filmed and edited, but it's a thought process, a thinking about what I'm going to do and everything. Then all of a sudden, somebody who's never done anything like this before, all of a sudden can just make a negative comment. And it's like a knife going through your heart. You think, you absolute arse.
Exactly. And you just think, you know, if people actually took the time to get to know us as people, they'd know that if we was making stupid money on our channel, and if we do that in the future, that chances are a lot of that would be given back to charities and stuff like that. Because
I think a lot of the time we'd be going around trying to help animals. This is our rescue dog, actually. We rescued her from Spain.
We went to Spain for a house and came back with a dog and no house.
I think that's it. I've got no problem with anybody earning money, anything, because basically it comes down to work. It comes down to work and whatever you do. People just don't seem to like. They want to have all the content for free. They want to have everything for free, but they just don't want you to earn money from it. As you say, most people, the overwhelming majority of people on YouTube, don't earn anything at all.
No, exactly. We don't earn anything at all. And you know what? It takes him. Sometimes it takes him 2 or 3 days to edit a video and get it online, because there's so much involved. And we've had so many issues with things like audio and our GoPro 7s and the GoPro mic adapters. We've had 3 of those have gone bust. You know, they've broken, and you know, we've done all this filming.
Like within the first week as well. They weren't, you know, like overly used. They just faulty.
And we'd been on the road for a few hours filming something, got home, and you've done all that work, and then it's no good because you've got no audio, you know. So it's really frustrating. Frustrating.
The amount of times I'm with you 100%. The amount of times I've gone out and filmed something and the audio has just failed, or whatever, or there's gone something wrong with you know, the SD card or something like that, and the video quality, you know, it's happened so many times. You think, oh, please, may the gods look down on me favorably today when I, you know, video this thing.
Exactly. I really do think that anyone who goes on YouTube and does videos and wants to do it seriously should be able to earn money off of it. And I think that people should understand that that's sometimes more than an 8-hour job. You know, you're working till 10 o'clock at night editing videos before you go, right, I need to cut off now and have some time to myself, otherwise I'm going to go mad. And it's like, you know, that's the same as the equivalent. If you're bringing entertainment, if you're bringing something to people that they want to watch, you know, most of the adverts can be skipped, and it's like they've got at the front. I watch channels that I think I don't mind if they're funny and entertaining. I click like, I subscribe, and you just think, you know, good empowered everybody who's willing to do it.
We appreciate the hard work that goes into it, because we know how much hard work goes into it, you know, so we're quite willing to, you know, help people out in that where we can. So
yeah, I mean, it's interesting. So I mean, I think, you know, we can just leave on this. Some people are really positive. I think the overwhelming majority, I've been very lucky in that overwhelming majority of people are very positive. You do get negative people. I think people just want to be negative. You just kind of ignore them, you know.
Yeah, just leave them where they are and move on. That's what I do.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Next question then. You're doing very well, by the way. Very well. A lot better than when I answered my own questions. I made a video and answered my questions, and I was good. What should I say now? Oh, there we go. Right. Right. So where is you're going to do another big tour around Europe this year? Would you consider going anywhere else in the world? Maybe United States, the Far East, maybe around the world?
Yeah, that's something we're going to try and plan in. I think initially we're going to do a tour around Europe again, but we're going to hit some of the countries we haven't done on the bikes yet.
Don't forget we've got one. We've actually got NC 500 that we're doing with a couple of other YouTubers.
Epic Adam, Highland Riders, I think his channel is. Big Mitchum's going. All smaller YouTubers, I think, and so we're all going to get together and do that. And then previous to that, we're going to try and organise some more European countries. And then after that, I think I'm going to look at America and maybe Thailand or something. Yeah, just because we've never really
It's funds really with what's happened. Obviously, it's put us back, but you know, those getting the licenses and getting bikes hired or whatever, or looking into whether putting your bike over there or actually hiring something and doing those, but it's definitely something we want to do.
We did plan to go and ride in Tenerife. Well, we got to Tenerife, and guess who'd forgotten his license?
Oh,
so, yeah.
Well, you could have given him a backy.
Well, I did think that, and
then oh dear. Right, okay. Well, next question then. Here we go. This is kind of a bit apt, really, but considering what we've been talking about. How do people respond to you making your videos? You've got a fan base, but have you ever been approached by anybody, like one of your fans? And what?
Yes,
how did you feel?
In the High Street, in Wanstead High Street, near where we are. There's a couple of kids, and I think that on a previous occasion we'd seen them, and I said that I was filming for YouTube, and I waved at him. And then after that, he'd seen us before, gave us a wave, and said, "Oh, you're the guys from YouTube." And comments on some of the videos, so
which is quite amusing considering how small amount of subscribers we've got. Yeah, but there was also someone that saw us in Tesco's walking around with our jumpers on, because we've actually got our channel on the back of our jumpers.
Yeah, sure.
But
you do YouTube?
Yeah, someone in Tesco's, apparently she took a picture of the back of our jumpers and then probably went home and watched our YouTube channel and commented on it, which was quite good fun.
Let me ask you a question. Say you're making your videos, whatever. Do you ever sort of video in public, sort of face to camera type stuff? Or do you kind of hide in the shadows a little bit and you think, right, I'll do a quick, face to camera thing, and then that's it. I'll go off on my bike here. See, if you're wearing a helmet, it's easy.
Yeah.
You're riding a bike, you're at the traffic lights, whatever, you're just talking away, no dramas. But as soon as you take the helmet off, and now you're kind of doing a face to camera type thing, you're like this, you're going, well, look, I'm in sunny Tenerife, and look, the people are walking past me. Hello, that kind of stuff.
I have to say, although we're doing this, and we're trying to get it going, and it looks like, I always think that when we look at ourselves on the camera, it looks quite natural, but inside, if he points a camera at me, I'm like that. No, bye then. It's not something I'm really comfortable with. So although we are starting to do it a bit more now,
Sorry, the dog just farted and it's really bad.
Get off.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, right. Get rid of the dog now, you smelly
thing. Oh God, that is bad.
No, it's interesting. When I first started, with other channels that I had, I found it incredibly difficult. But most of the videos I was making were kind of away from people, if you know what I mean. But then I started doing it, and it took me a long time to get comfortable with it. And even now, if people are around, I do feel a little bit embarrassed. by doing it. But then I sometimes think, just get over yourself. You'll be fine. Just get over it. Who cares?
You know, the biggest problem I have actually is sometimes I think to myself, right, I'm going to get the camera out and talk about that because I find that really interesting.
Yeah.
And then by the time I get the camera out, I'm like, no one's going to watch me looking at, they're not going to want to watch me talking about this rubbish. No one's interested in what I've got to say. Do you know what I mean? And I find that's my biggest hurdle. It's not so much the filming in public because I'm not that bothered what people think of me. It's more about I don't feel like my stuff's interesting enough. And, you know, I think a lot of people do that.
It is. I think it is interesting. I think everybody will always find, you'll always have an audience somewhere. You know, I think you said earlier on, you know, you might get, you know, negative comments or people say, well, you know, why are you doing that? You know, nobody's going to be interested in what you're doing. Actually, the fact is people will be interested in it. You just got to keep on doing it. You just got to keep on producing that content, and you know you will grow. And hopefully, we're going to send lots of subscribers over to you as well. So let's do that. Because I want to see those live streams from the road. I definitely want to see them. And when you do, I'm going to troll you as well. I wish I was there with you.
I'm going to enjoy that.
Right. Okay. Next question. So this is an interesting one. What do you think of electric bikes, and would they ever fit into your kind of YouTube channel or your kind of riding?
Well, if they can get the distancing, I mean, and the charging is an issue. For me personally, I can understand that if that's the way things are heading, it's not going to stop me riding bikes. I will ride electric bikes. There's no problem with that. But whilst I can, I love my gears and I love my sound because I feel like I have the control with the gears. And that I can shift up and down and have the power where I want it and things like that. I'm not so keen on not having the sound of the engine and stuff either. So for me, those are big factors. But I understand that if things need to change and it happens in my lifetime that I need to have an electric bike, I'll have one.
Yeah, I think for me, one of the things that I first fell in love with when my dad when I was a kid had a Z1000 Kawasaki, and I always remember it being like this really like British racing green colour. It was really lovely, and I always remember the smell, and it's something that I still love to this day. Is the smell, that something about that dirty, greasy engine casing smell, and fuel like the and the petrol fumes, and I think you're going to lose that with the electric bikes, and that's my issue. That and the sound, because everybody loves, you know, a great exhaust, and I mean, it's not really. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there's not a place for them. You know, it's like the Teslas. You know, we've done over the years to fund what we do. We've done driving for a living, and I've driven Teslas before, and oh my God, you know, to drive an electric vehicle is just an experience in itself. But there's something you lose in the sound and the smell and the, you know, and I think for motorcyclists, that's going to be a real problem. Yeah,
absolutely. Because it's more than just being on two wheels, isn't it? It's more than just riding. It's an immersive kind of experience, isn't it? Riding bikes, and you're right. It is the sound. It is the vibration. It is that you know, the manipulation of the controls. Everything is involved in it, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think you know, certainly for us, we do an awful lot of real long distance stuff, and I mean, okay, we don't do a huge amount on a daily basis, but we go for a long time. And I mean, for instance, to go, you know, from one end of France to the other, even if you're only doing 400 or 600 kilometers in a day, that's still a lot to do on one. I mean, I'm not sure how far the batteries on these electric bikes go, but
well, they're changing all the time. And that's the thing, and that, you know, I keep on saying we're at the threshold of, you know, this electric movement, and the range is, you know, 100, 130, 140, but it could go like the cars, you know, very soon, you know, a couple of 100 miles, 300 or 400 miles, who knows? That's the thing. You're right. Once you get the range sorted out, once you get the recharging sorted out, you know, if it can charge itself as we're riding it, so you'd never have to fill up or never have to recharge it, that'd be great.
I think at the moment they're at the equivalent to an MT10, aren't they? In distance they'll do before they need to fill up. Because the MT10 is like pretty juicy.
Yeah.
But I think it's the time you have to wait for it to charge as well.
Yeah.
You can fill up at a petrol station in a couple of seconds and then you're off again. Whereas to wait half an hour to an hour for a bike to charge.
Yeah. You almost have to plan the stop, don't you? Go for a coffee or whatever. And it's, absolutely right. Okay, next question then. What other types of riding do you enjoy, or have you done? And what other types of motorcycle would you like to ride?
So I've only really done any road riding. I've done a little bit of off-roading with my own little bike when I was a teenager, and that was down on our little. We've got where we live. We've got like a little cloud thing that you can ride up the side of, and we used to take the old bikes down there when I was a kid and do donuts in the field and stuff, as you do. But I've never really ridden anything other than road bikes, really. And I keep saying to you, don't I, that I really want to give off-roading a go, green laning and dirt biking, because it looks so much fun.
It is. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Certainly before I get too blasted old to do it, it's something I'd really like to give it a go. I don't know about you.
Yeah, definitely. I think that I've seen a few different styles of like off-road that is also like sand dunes and things like that.
I was just thinking you did off-roading in Cuenca in Spain when you crashed the Ninja in a field.
I crashed the Ninja quite badly, But I think that I've seen where people ride through sand dunes and that whole freedom of having the kind of bike like that, or a dirt bike where you can sort of go anywhere or try different sort of terrains would like really interest me.
No, I'm a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of road riding, but I'm a big fan of off-road riding as well. I think the problem, I've said this before about this big movement the last few years to go for these big adventure bikes. The problem is adventure bikes, they're too heavy for off-road riding, proper off-road riding. But as soon as you get a much smaller bike, and you can have so much fun, and just go anywhere with them, go up mountains and hopefully come down the mountain as well. All in one piece. It's brilliant stuff.
Well, I think the Husky 701 is quite a nice place to be at power-wise for doing both. It's not too crazy heavy, but it's got plenty of poke for if you need to go on the road for a bit to get to another section. It seems really good fun. We tried that the Supermoto ones and the Enduro one, and they were a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, I mean that's the trade-off when you start taking an enduro bike or a motocrosser. Well, motocross is only suited for off-road anyway, but you start taking an enduro bike and then you start increasing the engine capacity and its road capability. Then all of a sudden you're kind of taken away from its off-road capability as well. And you kind of that middle ground, that sort of 600cc, 700cc sort of cross bike, that's a sweet spot to be in. The big adventure bikes are good for long distance road riding. They're good for for your kind of thing, for carrying lots of stuff and lots of equipment with limited capability. But if you want proper fun, you need something like a 250cc off-road enduro bike, have loads of fun.
We did actually talk about getting a cheapy 250 just for us to practice on and things like that, because we'd like to practice on one of those going
brilliant. Right, okay, last question then. The very last question. You've done very well, by the way, very well. Right. What's the future of your channel and your riding lives? Would you ever consider riding cruisers? Harleys, Indians.
Now, that's a question. Yeah, that's a question, because I've never really been into Harleys. They're not my cup of tea. The whole, sort of massive sidebars and big cruisy style bikes. But I went into a Harley Davidson shop one day because, it's bikes. And of course you've got to do that. And there was the Iron 833, 883 or 833, whatever it is in there. And I just fell in love with it. And I said to Carlos, I really need to test ride one of them Harleys, because I've never ridden one and it felt so comfortable and it looks so cool. But I think I need to try it.
Those bikes, there are some I'm not a Harley fan, as it were, as in anything Harley I love. No, I'm actually over the years been a massive critic of them. but there have been certain bikes over the years which I've really liked, and the one that I've got now, obviously, but those 883, the Sportsters, they are great bikes. They are really fun to ride, really fun to ride, and they look cool as well. Yeah.
Oh, exactly. It looked really nice, and obviously Harleys. I mean, every Harley you hear always sounds awesome. So what's not to like? I guess it's just I need to test ride it, and I've had one booked in last year and never got round to doing it because the weather was bad or something at the time, and never haven't rebooked it yet. But I definitely will. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And just,
I like the look of them, but not for me. I don't think I could get on with the riding position. I sat on it; they do look pretty cool, but I don't know. I like
it's not for everybody. Absolutely right. Yeah, it's not for everybody. That's for sure. Okay. I mean, what about the future of your channel then? What's going to happen there then?
More traveling around, more comedy, more I don't know, taking the piss out of Emma, and more just.
Which he does a lot, by the way. He really does do that quite a lot. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But
I can feel a right hook.
There's so much material there. There's so much material there.
Yeah. Watch it, pal. Get divorced if you're not careful. But as for the future of the channel, I mean, who knows? You know, who knows where YouTube's going to go? Who knows where life's going to take us? And I think that's the thing. And it kind of goes back to the whole point of the original reason for our channel was for our life diary, and that's what we're going to continue to do. I think, you know, so that we've got something to look back when we're too old to ride anymore.
Yes, if ITV or BBC want to follow us around and film it for us and do all the editing,
that'd be great.
That's great.
That'll save us the job. We can just enjoy the ride.
Brilliant. Well, listen, everybody who's watching this, go and check out Gesto and Lane's channel, Motorcyclist Diary. It's lots of fun videos, which I really like, and hopefully it will just grow and grow and grow. And certainly get you over that 1,000 that you can start live streaming with your phones on the road, and that'd be brilliant as well. I can't wait for that. I really can't wait.
The other thing as well is when we do get too old to ride, we've already decided, we've got it planned out that when we get so old that we can't ride anymore, we're going to go into a home together, and we're going to have them little, what are them things that the old people sit in and drive around? Little scooters.
Oh, mobility scooters, yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to one.
But we're going to kit it out like a motorbike. We're going to pretend to be really daft so people think that we're old and completely senile, and then when they're not looking, we're going to race up and down the corridors, aren't we?
You know what? That would be a fantastic YouTube channel.
I know, right?
That would be. Forget about Gesto and Lane. Forget about that. This is the vision. Vision.
Come on, Sheila. She's wiped my arse. I'm ready to go.
Do it now. Do it now.
We need to rename the channel to Two Old Farts and Some Bikes.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Too old for real bikes.
Yeah.
Well, look, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. Best of success with the channel and your tours and all that kind of good stuff. Go check out Gesto and Lane, Motorcycle Diary on YouTube and Facebook. Instagram.
Yeah, Facebook and Instagram. We're just getting up and going. Yeah. It's been lovely talking to you. Thank you so much for having us on your.
No, thank you for joining me. Anyway, so everybody, as I say, go check out the channel. Leave your comments below. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about motorcycle touring and taking videos and doing the whole YouTube stuff. Is it a waste of time or is it jolly good fun? As I say. What do you think? It's good fun?
Great fun. Yeah, it's good fun. And you meet some really nice people. And we've got some good friends out of it, you know, and hopefully that will just continue to grow and we can meet some more lovely people en route.
I must give out a shout to the MT09 owners group because I did say I was going to say hello to them. So, hi guys. They've been a really good group.
MT09 owners group. I love that. I love that. Are you part of the CBR 600 owners group or anything like that?
Yeah. There's CBR Nation and CBR 600 RL. Yeah.
Cool. Well, a big shout out to those guys as well. Brilliant. Yeah. Lovely. Right. Anyway, everybody, like, share, subscribe. You know the drill. Leave those comments below. Check out the website at RevelatorAlf.com. This has been Oh My Harley, but no, Oh My Motorbike. Can you say that? Can you both say that? Oh My Motorbike!
Oh My Motorbike!
They said it, unbelievable.
Click the bell, click the bell.
Yeah, subscribe to RevelatorAlf.
Subscribe and bell and all that kind of
He's awesome. Yeah.
You know what to do. You know what to do. Right. Cheers all. Thanks for that.
See you later.
RevelatorAlf.